When you're automating anything in your business, it's important to always first map out the steps that you want to happen in that project, in that workflow, or in that process before you even bring tech into it. You always want to know, what's the outcome that I'm trying to achieve here? I've been given an example by Lucy, who's asked, how can she automate a finance process or automate a process when somebody has paid for something? The one place that you would automate a process of actions or project initiation or communication with the client when they've bought something is inside automated workflows. If you're using Techmatics, it's in the automated workflow section. You can also do this in other email-based forms and CRMs as well. The trigger for any automation of any kind of automated action is the thing that starts the process. And in the case of the example I've been given here, it's when somebody purchases something. The trigger might be they've purchased a course. The trigger could be an invoice has been paid. A trigger might be a form has been submitted. A trigger might be that a payment has been filled in on an order form, which is your checkouts on your funnels. They are different ways that you can receive money on different platforms and indeed on Techmatics. You first will need to work out, how are you getting paid? Is it by an invoice? Is it through a course purchase? Is it through a funnel purchase? Is it through a calendar booking? Right? Or is it through a payment on a form? All of those are different ways of getting paid. Another way of getting paid in Techmatics is through quick links and through the quick payment button that you can send in the conversations area too. There are about 8 different ways that you can receive a payment inside Techmatics, and that will be what triggers off a whole workflow. What happens after that workflow will then depend on what is it that you want to happen to the client. Things I normally do, first of all, when I receive a payment and I want a workflow to happen, is tag them. They need a tag. These tags are important. It's a label that enables you to separate people in your email list. Based on the labels they have, you can send email campaigns based on the labels that people have. You can create special lists or groups of people based on the labels they have, and much. The next thing I would do is move them to the appropriate stage in the customer journey. The customer journey is a sales pipeline. It's your journey that somebody would walk through in your business when they're buying anything from you. For instance, if this case they'd purchased a course, the action is move to this stage or purchased a course stage in my customer journey. If they've purchased a done for you service, it would be now move this person to the purchase done for you service stage in my customer journey. The next thing I would add in automation is something called a note or a note record. This is the note that goes in the customer's record, which is where you can say first name or customer name has purchased X, Y, and Z thing today. The project has now commenced, whatever note that you want to have in their customer contact record. And then, depending what happens next, it could be that now you send the client an email confirmation saying, congratulations on purchasing the thing. Here's what's going to happen next. The other thing you might do is add an internal notification. That's another action where you're going to internally notify yourself, a staff member, a virtual assistant that you might have to say, this person has purchased this thing. Now please go ahead and do X. The other thing you might do is then trigger off a project management process, like sending the client their onboarding form. You can go into your form section, you can create an onboarding form. Maybe there's certain information you need, maybe there's some questions you want them to answer, maybe this is part of a coaching process and you want to get some pre-filled questions filled in before the first consult. That next action inside the automation would be to send out that form and say, please fill this in before our next call. P.S. Here's the calendar link to go ahead and book that call. So you see here now, the possibilities are endless as to what you can do in an automation, in a workflow, based on somebody buying something.